Good morning, Little Masters, and welcome to today's Tolkien Times. I'm the Man of the West, also from the Prancing Pony podcast. Now, you may be wondering why I'm not sharing a split screen with somebody on what, for nearly a year, has been Fandom Friday. Well, two things, really, just to be honest. First, I've got to get some more guests scheduled. And second, I'm trying something new this series as a result, just to kind of mix it up, keep it fresh. So tomorrow and for the rest of Series 5, instead of Silmarillion Saturday, I'm going to be doing Second Age Saturday, and that means Fridays will be First Age Fridays, though we will certainly be coming back to Fandom Fridays in a series or two. I've met a lot of great new friends in the Tolkien fandom through those chats, and I know you enjoy them as well. So thank you for joining me for the very first First Age Friday. Now, this is our chance to visit the history and legends of the eldest of the Elder Days. It's First Age only here, folks, and we are going to spend this series exploring one of the most beloved tales from the First Age, but not in the way you might think. The tale of Beren and Luthien is a rich story, featuring some of the very best characters Tolkien ever wrote, including everybody's favorite good boy, Huan. But while you likely know the story from its chapter in the Silmarillion, I'll be spending the next, a while, in the Lay of Leithian, the epic story told in verse as found in the Lays of Beleriand, Book 3 of the History of Middle-earth. Now, Tolkien tinkered with this tale many times and in many ways over the years, and to get the fullest picture of the narrative possible, I highly recommend picking up the standalone volume Beren and Luthien, edited by Christopher Tolkien and published in 2017. Christopher does a masterful job of assembling his father's work and ensuring that every element of the tale finds its place. But I want to focus on the poetry this time. And so I'm using a version of the text that is taken from the later The Lay of Leithian Recommenced, where possible, which is in the early cantos, and then integrated with the earlier version. Now, both works are again found in the Lays of Beleriand, Book 3 of the History of Middle-earth. A king there was in days of old, ere men yet walked upon the mould. His power was reared in cavern's shade, his hand was over glen and glade. Of leaves his crown, his mantle green, his silver lances long and keen. The starlight in his shield was caught, ere moon was made or sun was wrought. In after days, when to the shore of Middle-earth from Valinor the elven hosts in might returned, and banners flew and beacons burned, when kings of Eldamar went by, in strength of war beneath the sky, then still his silver trumpets blew, when sun was young and moon was new. Afar then, in Beleriand, in Doriath's beleaguered land, King Thingol sat on guarded throne in many-pillared halls of stone. There beryl, pearl, and opal pale, and metal wrought like fish's mail, buckler and corslet, axe and sword, and gleaming spears were laid in hoard. All these he had and counted small. For dearer than all wealth in hall, and fairer than are born to men, a daughter had he, Luthien. Such lissom limbs no more shall run on the green earth beneath the sun. So fair a maid no more shall be, from dawn to dusk, from sun to sea. Her robe was blue as summer skies, but gray as evening were her eyes. Her mantle sewn with lilies fair, but dark as shadow was her hair. Her feet were swift as bird on wing, her laughter merry as the spring. The slender willow, the bowing reed, the fragrance of a flowering mead, the light upon the leaves of trees, the voice of water. More than these, her beauty was and blissfulness, her glory and her loveliness. She dwelt in the enchanted land, while elven might yet held in hand the woven woods of Doriath. None ever thither found the path unbidden, none the forest eaves dared pass or stir the listening leaves. To north there lay a land of dread, Dungortheb, where all ways were dead, in hills of shadow bleak and cold. Beyond was deadly nightshade's hold, in Taurnufuin's fastness grim, where sun was sick and moon was dim. To south the wide earth unexplored, to west the ancient ocean roared, unsailed and shoreless, wide and wild. To east in peaks of blue were piled, in silence folded, mist enfurled, the mountains of the outer world. Thus Thingol in his dolven hall, amid the thousand caverns tall of Menegroth, as king abode. To him there led no mortal road. Beside him sat his deathless queen, fair Melian, and wove unseen nets of enchantment round his throne, and spells were laid on tree and stone. Sharp was his sword, and high his helm, the king of beech and oak and elm. When grass was green and leaves were long, when finch and mavis sang their song, there under bough and under sun, in shadow and in light would run fair Leithian, the elven maid, dancing in dell and grassy glade. When sky was clear and stars were keen, then Dairon with his fingers lean, as daylight melted into eve, a trembling music sweet would weave, of flutes of silver, thin and clear, for Leithian, the maiden dear. There mirth there was, and voices bright. There eve was peace, and morn was light. There jewel gleamed, and silver wan on gold on graceful fingers shone, and Eleanor and Nifredil bloomed in the grass unfading still, while the endless years of Elvenland rolled over far Beleriand, until a day of doom befell, as still the elven harpers tell. That's it for today's First Age Friday, but come back next time. I'm excited to do this. Now, I don't want us to forget about Fandom Friday, so if you would like to join me on the show when I start that segment back up, please email barliman@theprancingponypodcast.com and let us know. Visit patreon.com/Tolkien Times to learn how you can support the show, get an ad-free RSS feed, a monthly hangout with me, a bonus weekly episode, and a lot more. And then join me again tomorrow on today's Tolkien Times as we wrap up this first week of Series 5 with Second Age Saturday. And if you're watching this on YouTube, like and subscribe. Please follow or subscribe in your podcast apps and follow @Tolkien Times on social media. And finally, as Faramir says, go with the goodwill of all good men.